Steve, it does really seem like the saber rattling has been amplified lately. What do we know?
Well, absolutely, it's been amplified lately because you had Joe Biden in the region just a couple of weeks ago, and you had that meeting of the Quad. And again, you know, there's always these potential standoffs with the Chinese in the South China Sea. I have more on that in just a bit. But what I do know about the tests over the weekend, first of all, North Korea conducted 8 missile tests, bringing their total to 31, which is a record for any year. In fact, the previous record in a single year was 24 tests, so they surpassed that now with 8 short-range ballistic missile tests within 35 minutes of each other on Sunday morning, firing from 4 different locations in North Korea into the sea off the east coast. Japan says it did not land in their territorial waters. They landed in international waters. But then again, we're also hearing from Yonhap news agency that the South Koreans and the Americans jointly tested their own 8 missile tests this morning, ground-to-ground tactical missiles at about 4:45 this morning, Monday morning, for about 10 minutes. I assume in retaliation, they were test firing, of course, but in retaliation for those 8 tests by the North Koreans. We're also hearing from both UN and U.S. security experts that is believed that the North is preparing a potential nuclear test at some point as well. So definitely tensions being ratcheted up right now at a time when North Korea perhaps is emboldened by the fact that China and Russia perhaps at this moment in time would not stand in support of any new UN Security Council sanctions.
Stephen, you mentioned that standoff over the South China Sea. What was that about?
Yeah, so the Australian Royal Air Force is saying that a P-8, which is an American Poseidon surveillance aircraft back on May 26th, was reportedly intercepted over the South China Sea by a J-16 Chinese fighter jet. And the Australian Navy essentially, or Air Force essentially says that the Chinese fighter jet conducted a fairly dangerous maneuver, pulling up alongside the P-8 surveillance plane and then doing another maneuver to cut in front. So essentially intercepting over international waters in the over the South China Sea. So again, it's another incident of perhaps provocation, at least what the Australians say that the Chinese did. This comes a couple of weeks after we heard the Canadian Air Force also had a few of its surveillance aircraft over the East China Sea, intercepted by Chinese fighter jets as well, when those Canadian aircraft were there under the, to protect the UN sanctions against North Korea. So yes, there's more tensions right now at a heightened sensitive time.